What up, G's? Okay, so I saw the How to Train Your Dragon remake and it was pretty decent, honestly. It wasn't a great movie or anything, but it was a solid experience. I think what separates this remake from something like a Disney remake is that this one was made with more passion and intentions, it seems. It also helps that this is by the same director of the original animated film. You can tell he made this film with quite a lot of care and focus. Most Disney remakes nowadays seem to have been made with a very rushed and inconsiderate choice of pacing. They feel like they never really take their time or at least understand the story beats and emotional beats or otherwise. But here, these scenes actually do have breathing room and the character moments feel like they actually matter. Now you could argue that this is just a really faithful remake, but I'd argue that this one has genuine intention and care. There were some pretty solid moments of good cinematography and the score remains the same without unnecessary changes like, another Disney remake. And I think this also helps that they have the same composer of the original animated film. The main actor that played Hiccup in this one in some ways felt more fitting in the role than Jay Baruchel, who I honestly think is one of the worst actors alive. His voice acting in the original was very off and strange, but I did get used to it. I just wish that they could have, found like an actual teenager to voice Hiccup instead of just another Michael Cera-esque actor of the 2010s era. The performances overall were pretty solid. I didn't really think there was a weak one. Gerard Butler was honestly super solid in his role and a definite highlight of the movie. It was a no-brainer to cast him because he voiced him in the original, so why wouldn't he be casted? You can tell he was having a really good time and he clearly put his heart and soul into this role, probably just as much as he did in the original. And while there are some aspects I like, there are some aspects that I feel like weigh it down. While some of the realistic dragon designs were fine, Toothless just kind of looked bad. Don't get me wrong, it has nothing to do with his general design. I think his general design is great and it works in the original film a lot. A lot of people are probably going to disagree with me, but just hear me out for a second. Toothless design just looks less realistic than many of the other dragons. He looked genuinely out of place and almost looked like an animated CGI character rather than a live action interpretation of the original Toothless. I'm not really sure how they could have fixed this, but whenever he was in shots that involved other dragons or real life characters, it was just so off-putting seeing him in the same frame and being expected to believe that he was supposed to have the same realistic degree of features. I honestly couldn't believe it despite the insistence of otherwise. It just did not look particularly convincing. I'd also say that the flying sequences felt much weaker than in the original. A lot of the flying sequences just had this shaky cam to it, almost reminded me of like the Man of Steel flying where Snyder wanted to shoot everything with shaky cam to make it realistic. The shaky cam choices just felt very unnecessary. It just made the sequences very difficult to appreciate. With the original, I'd say they had some smoothly well filmed flying sequences with some really good cinematography, and there wasn't any reason to start shaking up the camera, but in order to just keep it focused in order to give a sense of flying. It's not all terrible. The climax really didn't have that much, at least not as much as the earlier scenes, but I still feel like they could have toned it down a bit. There are also some jokes that didn't really work for me, particularly one that was well timed in the original. Here it was just very, very poorly timed, and that clearly could have had a reshot if they actually did it. Using the same composer from the original, like I said, was smart. The music in the original was always good to me, and there were some small changes to the score, but unlike a Disney remake, the changes don't really detract from the general experience of what the score did for the movie. But overall, this was a pretty solid remake. I don't really have much to say about it because it really does things better than most Disney remakes do. I wouldn't say it was a perfect movie. I wouldn't say it was all that great either, but I was never bored, and I didn't even notice the 2-hour runtime. It was barely noticeable. So I would say it's definitely worth a watch at least once, and I'm giving it 3 solid stars. Hey guys, updates. I'm kind of doing this off script. I didn't write anything. I don't have anything in front of me. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. So I got a couple of life changes, not major ones, well, sort of major life changes, but I don't really talk too much about my personal life, especially recently. So I'll share a little bit about why I'm kind of doing this and why I'm talking about this. I have a girlfriend and we've been in a committed relationship for about a year. So we are trying to move our relationship forward and progress. So what I'm trying to simply say is that I'm moving. So I'm packing up some stuff and I'm gonna be living with my girlfriend. Another thing is I'm trying to do new things, different life experiences. One of those is I've always wanted to go to a film festival. So there's one in September. That's several months away, so it's not going to be just a quick thing. But yeah, I'm gonna try to go to my first film festival and watch movies and talk about them. And I'm pretty sure you already know who also does this. Yes, I was inspired by YMS because I love movies, too, and I like trying to watch new and different movies, and I've always wanted to go to a film festival and talk about movies and share them. I've always done that naturally with other people in my personal life, so it's like, why not just do the same thing? So yeah, and one more thing that I want to bring up is I'm actually going to I'm gonna try my best to work on bigger reviews, especially pertaining to a recent movie that just came out that I saw called Sinners, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people already know about it. I'm not gonna say anything too concrete about what I want to do, but I just want to do a more in-depth review of that movie because I just didn't like it. But my life has been crazy, and my motivation to make content has also been a bit of a setback because of what's going on in my life right now. So yeah, that's pretty much all I really wanted to say. Like I said, so yeah, major life changes, trying to move my life forward, trying to improve aspects of my life, and trying to make decisions that are good for me. So yeah, if you've been subscribed to the channel, please like, share the videos. I haven't really done a lot of videos in a while. I had gaps. I've had a lot of gaps, so it's been like several months that I've made a video, just because, like I said, it's just life is crazy. When I'm not forcing myself to do it, I absolutely love making videos. To the subscribers that I've had, I absolutely love you all, and I hopefully will be able to grow this channel more and more over time. Like, subscribe, all that other jazz, and I will see you in the future. Peace out and love y'all.